For Chapter 11, I'm going to give a different example, just so you have plenty of examples of different classes. Furthermore, I'm here in UML to write a UML diagram. I like to do this by hand usually, but in the interest of making it clear for you on the video, we'll do it inside UML. Violet is another UML editor that Anne likes to use. Okay, here's my student class. I'm going to write a class for a student today, and let me just brainstorm briefly about what I want in there, and then as I'm brainstorming I will write what I want here. So this is another nice way to design if you're just throwing things around. It's a nice graphical way to put some notes down, and then you can then go through it and make sure what you're thinking about is going to really work from an architectural perspective. So here's my student class. I would like to have in a name. So these will probably be private properties. That will most likely be a string. And then maybe we'll have a year of graduation, which is going to be a date, say. And or actually, boy, at this school, the year of graduation may not make sense for us here at our school. So let me say number of credits, because we'll certainly be able to know how many credits you have versus how many you will need for your degree. So that's probably a better way of tracking. And then maybe we'll have an ID number, and that will also probably be an int. And that's probably enough for now. Okay, in terms of methods for the student, we'll need a constructor. I don't know if we'll have a default constructor. I feel like if you don't give an ID to a student, then there's no way of identifying a student at all. So, and it's not really possible to give a unique idea with what we know so far. So I'm going to say it does have a default constructor, but nobody should be able to call it. This is a little bit outside the scope of this class, so if you're not sure why I'm making this private so that nobody can call my constructor, then I don't worry about it for now. But to reiterate, the reason I'm making it private is because I don't want somebody to be able to call this constructor with no parameters and give me a student with potentially no name, no credits, and no ID. The ID is the tough one. Okay, so this one we can give a name, a number of credits, and an ID. Other things that I might want the student to be able to do. I know I'm going to need some getters and setters, and so I might note that here just so I can set name, which it takes in a string, just to remind myself that I'll need to write them, so I'll put one of them. And a get name, which returns a string, to remind myself that I need getters and setters. And then any other methods that I think I might want to know, that would be can graduate, maybe. And that could be something like int total credits needed. This is pretty fine-grained, but or coarse-grained here, but let's say that we can just do it based on the number of credits you have. And fine, let's go with that for now. So now what I've done is I have the class name up here, just to give you another look at UML. Private properties listed with minus sign, typically right under the class section, and then with a line, and then underneath it is all the methods, plus if they're public, and minus if they're private. So, and then actually maybe I'll add one more method because I know the chapter talks about it. It talks about the equals method. And while I'm thinking of other things like that, maybe we'll add a toString method that returns a string, and then we'll return an equals method, make an equals method that takes another student and returns Boolean if they're equal to each other. Okay. Save. In the next video, we'll take a look at what this student class looks like in code.